details, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host Brian West, here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Now, as usual, I'll give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it first, followed by a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, or something that's going on in the community, or maybe some pictures. And then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. So let's waste no time, folks. Let's get to it. Story number 1. How is the local love life during the pandemic? Domestic abuse cases have drifted in and out of the news lately, but some people have actually been hanging on and finding love in these hard times. Now, although there has been numerous stories of children getting into trouble, and also with divorce rates and breakups holding steady, the pandemic has really revealed a lot about the state of the American people's love life because birth rates are down. And the ongoing epidemic problems seem to be the reason, according to some reports. Now, as many try to get a hold of their pocketbooks in this new era, it's becoming clear that America is in a fight for its future, and the American love life plays a big part in that, according to current research and a lot of new stats. The majority of breakups usually stem from financial problems. This is according to some polls and a lot of information that's been coming in. Story number 1. Keep an eye on your love life. That's why I made it in this. Story number 2. Inspiring Minds is looking for summer internship jobs for students. This summer, Inspiring Minds will be looking back to its internship program to continue to carry out its mission statement. The organization, which was started back in 2005 and is based in Youngstown, Ohio, provides after-school and summer programs for K-12 students all across the country. The organization will be looking to local businesses and small companies to provide summer internships for area high school seniors and college students. This is a big headline. That's why I made it in this week, finding something to do for the summer, especially if you can learn. Story number 3. Austintown gets a new police officer. Austintown swore in a new police officer this week, Blake Davis, and according to a local article, they will be looking to hire more. Blake Davis, who is originally from Warren and is a graduate of Youngstown State University's Police Academy, will be supervised before being allowed to patrol on his own. Mr. Davis also has a military background by serving in the Air Force Reserves, which made him a good fit for the department. Story number 3 is a good story because the police are always looking for a few good men. Story number 4. Austintown Casino sees an uptick in the gambling business. Betting is up at Hollywood and Austintown. The casino report came in last week showing strong numbers. The state usually monitors gambling activities very closely because of ethical concerns, but overall, Ohio bettors waged over $975 million in January, according to a local Vindicator article. Now, although payouts were flat, the reality in this story is that people are betting and hanging on to their lucky charms at the local casinos. Now, this could be good news for casinos, but it could be bad news for those on the losing end, depending on what side of the table you're on. Big headline. Story number 5. Boardman is planning for the future when it comes to flooding. Now, after falling victim to flooding woes, Boardman plans to demolish 7 homes in what is called the Cranberry Run flood zone. The township has already selected a construction crew and will be using grant money from FEMA to fund the project. The project is still in the development stage. Story number 6. Local auto sales are up, but how are other businesses doing? Surrounding auto dealers saw a slight uptick in car sales, but there are still lagging reports about the local business market. With auto sales setting the tempo, there could be some signs of hope as more government aid to small businesses pours in. Now, if you have never taken the time to understand local economics, now may be the time to get a grasp on how important it is to invest and spend locally. One example is the former Idora Park. Some people feel that if the local focus was more homed in on bringing such land and historical sites back to life, that local tourism would shoot up. Now, this is one area that local communities may look to focus on for the future. Investing in the local market is a hot topic, especially in tourism attractions, which could help elevate local economies by bringing in more outside dollars. Story number 6, that's why it almost made it to the top 2. Story number 7 in the top 2 local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. COVID-19 relief money is coming in handy locally. Girard is another local community that will be looking to COVID-19 relief funds to balance the budget after tax losses. Mayor James Melfi and Girard's treasurer Mark Zuppel may be looking to use the same strategy as Youngstown did to balance the books. Girard saw budget losses of more than 179,000. V&M Star was also mentioned in the local report, contributing to the losses. Let's hope relief money can get things back on track. This is another story that is still developing. Story number 8 in the top local headline and developing news story that made it this week. Thank you, Lord. Almost there. Ohio, how did we reach 1 million cases? Now, although it may not seem like it, Ohio has reached over 1 million cases of COVID-19. This is about 8.57% of the state's population. Now, with some people never even knowing they've had the virus. Now, the virus has been around for an entire year, setting the bar for something that this generation has never seen in their lifetime. If they've never seen this before. The virus has also exposed the living conditions of many locals who were already suffering before the pandemic even hit. Mike DeWine has done everything he possibly can to try and find a solution to somehow get things back to normal. He's been all over the place. Now, in the battle, he lost a health director, Amy Acton, who stepped down during the pandemic, but he continues to fight on with his plans for the state's recovery. Now, the state is also seeing lawsuits pour in due to the shutdown that many businesses still have not recovered from, and some probably never will. COVID-19 has clearly brought the wealthiest nation on earth on the brink of a financial meltdown with over 500,000 deaths. Now, locally, food banks have tried to keep up with demand, and many people in the working class are still weathering the storm. Now, this is all at a time when the nation should be united, but people are still fighting over political positions, so we're still politically divided. Mike DeWine's new concern seems to be Senate Bill 22, which would let the General Assembly vote on whether to extend or end states of emergencies. Now, this alone would limit the role of local boards of health during a health crisis. If you don't understand what that means that it'll take some of the power from the governor and basically put that hands into the General Assembly. Now, the key to this story is that many are still divided on the seriousness of this virus. That's why story number 8 made it to the top this week. Well, those are our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it in. I'll be right back with the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. So don't go anywhere. You're in the media. Me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com, method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program.